Welcome back to Rugby Obsession. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of our deep dives into the world of rugby.
Definitely.
We've got a really interesting article from Rugby Pass today,
Yeah.
all about Marcus Smith and, where he fits into England's plans.
Yeah, it's a fascinating question,
Yeah.
especially with the Six Nations
Yeah,
full
like-
swing.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're talking about a player who a lot of people consider to be the most talented fly half
Oh, yeah.
in England right now.
He's got
A
that
real game changer.
flair,
Yeah.
those extravagant gifts. But where does he fit?
Yeah, that's the big question.
Into the team.
Right. And that's a tough one for any coach to answer, right?
Yeah.
Because on the one hand, you've got a player who can win games single-handedly for you.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you've got to think about how his style
Yeah.
fits into the overall team strategy.
And the thing is, it's even more complicated now, right? When you look at the upcoming match against Scotland,
Right.
because he's starting at fullback,
Yeah.
which isn't his natural position. Now, obviously, that's primarily due to the injury to George Furbank,
Of course.
but it makes you wonder
It does.
if this is maybe
Ah,
a glimpse into the future.
yeah.
You know what England's plans for him might be?
It's certainly possible.
Yeah.
I mean, while both Smith and Furbank are comfortable with the ball in hand
Yeah.
and can create attacking opportunities,
Yeah.
Furbank is a specialist fullback.
Right.
So he's more accustomed to, the defensive responsibilities
Yeah.
and the tactical nuances of that position.
Yeah. Because there's a difference, right, between being able to play the position
Yes, definitely.
and really mastering it,
Absolutely.
especially at the international level.
Yeah.
Fullback requires
Right, yeah.
such a specific skill set.
Oh, guys.
You're often the last line of defense. You need to be able to read the game, make crucial decisions under pressure.
Exactly. And you're also heavily involved in the kicking game,
Right.
which is such a huge part of modern rugby strategy.
Absolutely.
And against a team like Scotland,
Yeah.
with a world-class kicker like Finn Russell,
Oh, yeah.
any weakness at fullback
Mm-hmm.
could be ruthlessly exploited.
And speaking of fly halves,
Yeah.
there's another interesting wrinkle to this whole Marcus Smith situation.
Okay.
The emergence of Finn Smith.
Right.
He had a fantastic game against France
I did.
recently. And a lot of people are saying
Yeah.
he's now England's first choice fly half.
What was interesting about Finn Smith's performance
Yeah.
was that he really seemed to thrive within the team structure.
Okay.
He played with a lot of confidence control,
Yeah.
and he was really effective at getting England's backline moving.
And the article makes a really good point
Yeah.
about that. They say that part of Finn Smith's success could be because of his familiarity with some of his Northampton teammates.
Makes sense.
They've been playing together for a while now.
Yeah.
So they have that shared understanding,
Oh, absolutely.
that intuitive connection,
Yeah.
which can be so valuable
It's huge.
in a team sport.
It's like speaking a different language almost.
Yeah.
When you have that kind of synergy with your teammates, you don't have to overthink things. You
Yeah.
just react instinctively,
Yeah.
which can make all the difference in a fast-paced game like rugby.
So if team synergy
Yeah.
is such a crucial factor,
Right.
where does that leave Marcus Smith? I mean, he is a brilliant individual player.
He is.
There's no doubt about that.
Right.
But does he fit seamlessly into England's current system?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's
Yeah.
one that Steve Borthwick is clearly grappling with.
Yeah.
The article even mentions that 41 caps into his international career. England still haven't solved the riddle of how to best accommodate the magician that is Marcus.
And that's incredible to say.
It is.
About a player of his caliber.
It really is.
If you're enjoying this breakdown, by the way, of the Marcus Smith situation, be sure to subscribe
Yeah,
to Rugby Obsession for more.
definitely.
We dig deep into all the hottest topics
We do.
in
We
rugby,
do.
bringing you expert analysis
Absolutely.
and unique insights.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it really highlights that challenge, doesn't it? Of balancing individual brilliance
Right.
with team cohesion. You've got this incredibly gifted player
Yeah.
in Marcus Smith, but you've also got a system
Yeah.
that's designed to function as a unit.
Right.
So finding that sweet spot
Yeah.
where both the individual and the team can thrive, that's the key.
That's the challenge.
That is the challenge. And that's where this idea of him as like a super sub comes in. Could he actually be more effective?
Yeah.
Coming off the bench,
Right.
injecting that energy
Yeah.
unpredictability into the game
Yeah.
when defenses are already tired.
It's an interesting concept.
It is, isn't it?
You know, like
Yeah.
almost like a secret weapon
Right.
you unleash in the latter stages of a match.
Exactly.
But then it also raises the question of how does a player like that who thrives on being at the heart of the action, how does he adapt to that kind of role?
Well, it's certainly not the conventional path for a player of his stature. But then again, Marcus Smith has never been one to shy away from a challenge.
That's true.
And if you think about it, coming off the bench allows him to analyze the game.
Okay.
You know, see where the weaknesses are and then exploit them when he enters the fray.
It's almost like giving him the advantage of seeing the bigger picture before he even steps onto the field. So he can assess the opposition's defense, figure out their patterns, and then use his creativity to disrupt their game plan.
Exactly. And don't forget the impact he could have on the team's morale as well.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine the boost England would get knowing they've got a player like Marcus Smith waiting in the wings, ready to change the course of the match.
Yeah, it's almost like a psychological edge as well.
It is.
You know, the opposing team's constantly looking over their shoulder, thinking, when's he going to come on?
Exactly.
When's he going to be unleashed?
Precisely. And that kind of mental pressure can be just as effective as physical dominance on the rugby field.
But wouldn't limiting his playing time be a waste of his talent?
That's a valid concern.
You know, this is a player who can create magic.
He can.
With the ball in his hands.
Right. And it's a delicate balancing act for Borthwick.
Yeah.
But the article argues that sometimes less is more.
Okay.
Having a player like Smith come in fresh with a clear objective could be more impactful than having him start and potentially get bogged down in the early exchanges.
I see the logic in that.
Yeah.
You know,
it's about choosing the right moments to unleash his brilliance rather than just assuming he needs to be on the field from the first whistle.
Exactly.
It's about strategic deployment, maximizing his impact at crucial points in the game.
And even if he doesn't start, he's still going to be a key part of the team.
Absolutely.
You know,
he'll be involved in the pre-match planning, offering his insights, perspectives, and he'll be ready to come on and make a difference when called upon.
So it's not about diminishing his role.
No.
It's about optimizing it.
Exactly.
It's about finding the way to use his unique talents.
Yes.
To the greatest benefit of the team.
Yeah. Precisely. It's about understanding that a player's value isn't solely determined by whether they start or not. It's about their overall contribution to the team's success.
And that's where I think that concept of team synergy comes back into play.
Absolutely.
You know, as we talked about earlier, Finn Smith's success against France was partly due to his familiarity with his Northampton teammates.
Yeah.
So it seems like building those connections, that shared understanding within the starting lineup is crucial.
It is absolutely crucial.
So while Marcus Smith might not be the perfect fit for that core group right now, his role as a super sub could actually enhance the team's overall cohesion.
Yeah.
You know, he can be that spark, that game changer who comes in, adds a new dimension when needed.
Exactly. And in a tournament like the Six Nations, where every point matters, having a player like that on your bench can be the difference between winning and losing.
It's like having an ace up your sleeve.
It is.
And if you're loving this in-depth analysis of the Marcus Smith situation, make sure you subscribe to Rugby Obsession.
We'd love to have you.
We bring you the latest news,
We do.
tactical breakdowns, thought-provoking discussions.
All the time.
On all things rugby.
Yes, we're passionate about the game.
We are.
And we love sharing our insights with fellow rugby enthusiasts.
So back to Marcus Smith.
Yeah.
This Scotland match is a huge test for him.
It is.
Particularly playing at fullback. What do you be watching for?
Well, first and foremost, I'll be looking at his defensive positioning and decision-making. As we discussed, Scotland has a very clever kicking game led by Finn Russell. If Smith is caught out of position or hesitates even slightly, they'll exploit that weakness.
And offensively, what do you expect to see from him at fullback? Do you think we'll see that attacking flair?
I think he'll definitely try to inject his creativity into the game, but it might be a bit more measured than what we're used to seeing from him at fly half. He'll have to be more aware of his defensive responsibilities and pick his moments to attack wisely.
It'll be interesting to see how he balances those two aspects of the game. You know, he's known for his attacking prowess. But he's going to need to show that he can also be a reliable defender.
He will.
At the international level.
Absolutely, and that's what makes the situation so intriguing. It's not just about finding the right position for Marcus Smith. It's about him adapting his game to fit the demands of that position.
It's a challenge, but it's also an opportunity for him to grow as a player and add another dimension to his skill set.
And for England, it's an opportunity to utilize one of their most talented players in a way that maximizes his impact and benefits the team as a whole.
This whole situation really highlights the complexity of modern rugby.
It does.
It's not just about having the best players. It's about finding the right combinations, the right systems, the right roles for each individual within the team.
It's like a giant puzzle.
It is.
And Borthwick's trying to find the perfect pieces to create a winning picture. And the Marcus Smith piece is certainly one of the most intriguing and potentially game-changing pieces.
It is.
In that puzzle.
And it's a puzzle that's going to continue to unfold.
It is.
You know, throughout the Six Nations and beyond.
Absolutely.
And we'll be here every step of the way.
We will.
Analyzing the tactics. Dissecting the performances. Try to make sense of it all.
And we encourage you to join us on this journey. Share your thoughts and opinions in the comments. Let us know what you think about the Marcus Smith situation. How do you think England should utilize his talents? We always love hearing from fellow rugby fans.
It's a reminder that rugby at its core is a team sport.
It is.
And as much as we love to celebrate individual brilliance, it's the collective effort, that shared understanding between players that ultimately leads to success.
Absolutely. And that's why this whole discussion about Marcus Smith's role is so important. It's not just about one player. It's about how that player fits in to the larger puzzle of the team.
And it's a puzzle that England needs to solve.
They do.
Especially with the World Cup looming.
Yeah, the stakes are high.
They are.
And every decision Borthwick makes will be scrutinized. But having a player like Marcus Smith, even if his role is still being defined, is a luxury.
It is.
Most teams would envy.
It's a sign of the depth.
It is.
And the talent within English rugby right now.
It's exciting to think about the possibilities.
It is.
If they can harness that talent effectively.
It's going to be fascinating.
It is.
To see how this all plays out.
Absolutely. The Six Nations is just the beginning. This Marcus Smith saga has the potential to be a defining storyline for English rugby in the years to come.
And we'll be here to cover it every step of the way.
We will.
Bringing you in-depth analysis and expert insights.
If you want to stay up to date on all the latest developments, make sure you subscribe to Rugby Obsession.
We're your one-stop shop for all things rugby.
From tactical breakdowns to player profiles. We delve deep into the heart of the game.
You do.
Bringing you the stories and perspectives that matter most.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the Marcus Smith situation, let's leave our listeners with a final thought-provoking question.
I like it.
What do you think is the best way for England to utilize Marcus Smith's talent? Is it as a starter, a super sub, or something else entirely?
Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.
We love hearing from our engaged listeners.
We're eager to hear your insights. And continue this conversation because ultimately rugby is a sport that thrives on passionate debate and diverse perspectives.
Well said. And on that note, we'd like to thank you for listening to the Rugby Obsession podcast.
Thank you.
We'll be back next week.
You will.
With another deep dive into the world of rugby.
Absolutely.
Till then, keep your eyes on the pitch and your minds in the game.
We look forward to having you back for our next episode. And we encourage you to join us on this journey. Share your thoughts and opinions in the comments.
Let us know.
Let us know what you think about the Marcus Smith situation. How do you think England should utilize his talents? We always love hearing from fellow rugby fans.
It's a reminder that rugby at its core is a team sport.
It is.
And as much as we love to celebrate individual brilliance,
Yeah.
it's the collective effort, that shared understanding between players that ultimately leads to success.
Absolutely. And that's why this whole discussion about Marcus Smith's role is so important. It's not just about one player.
Right.
It's about how that player fits in to the larger puzzle of the team.
And it's a puzzle that England needs to solve.
They do.
Especially with the World Cup looming.
Yeah, the stakes are high.
They are.
And every decision Borthwick makes will be scrutinized.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But having a player like Marcus Smith, even if his role is still being defined, is a luxury.
It is.
Most teams would envy.
Yeah, it's a sign of the depth.
It is.
And the talent within English rugby right now.
It's exciting to think about the possibilities.
It is.
If they can harness that talent effectively.
It's going to be fascinating to see how this all plays out.
It is.
The Six Nations is just the beginning.
Absolutely. This Marcus Smith saga has the potential to be a defining storyline.
Oh, yeah.
For English rugby in the years to come.
For sure. And we'll be here to cover it every step of the way.
We will.
Bringing you in-depth analysis and expert insights.
If you want to stay up to date on all the latest developments, make sure you subscribe to Rugby Obsession.
We're your one-stop shop for all things rugby.
From tactical breakdowns to player profiles.
Yeah, we cover it all.
We delve deep into the heart of the game.
We do.
Bringing you the stories and perspectives that matter most.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the Marcus Smith situation, let's leave our listeners with a final thought-provoking question.
I like it.
What do you think is the best way for England to utilize Marcus Smith's talent? Is it as a starter? A super sub? Or something else entirely?
Yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments below.
We love hearing from our engaged listeners.
We're eager to hear your insights. And continue this conversation.
Absolutely.
Because ultimately, rugby is a sport that thrives on passionate debate. And diverse perspectives.
Well said.
Thank you.
And on that note, we'd like to thank you for listening to the Rugby Obsession podcast.
Yes, thank you for joining us.
We'll be back next week with another deep dive into the world of rugby.
We will.
Until then, keep your eyes on the pitch and your minds in the game.
We look forward to having you back for our next episode.